He is risen. You can almost hear the excitement as the disciples of Jesus and believers gathered. He is risen. Death could not seize him. The grave could not hold him. He is risen indeed. More than 2,000 years later, we still greet each other on Easter morning with those words, He is risen. His resurrection started a movement that is continuing today. The movement started with a couple of dozen Jewish men and women sharing the good news among themselves, and it has since grown to millions of people of every tribe and nation sharing the same message, He is risen. I believe one of the most amazing truths about the life, death, resurrection, and ascension of Jesus is that it is for all people of all nations. There is no more separation of Jew or Greek, slave or free, male or female. All are included in His plan and His life. Sadly, not all accept the good news and don't live in that truth. But it doesn't take away the reality of the resurrection. He rose for all. The disciples didn't realize this at first. God had to perform a series of miraculous interventions for Peter to understand Jesus wasn't just the Savior of the Jews, but the Savior of all. In Acts 10, we read that Peter was praying when God gave him a vision, telling Peter the gospel was also for the Gentiles. Later in the chapter, we find Peter at the home of a Gentile, Cornelius. Peter started by saying, "You are well aware that it's against our law for a Jew to associate or visit with a Gentile, but God has shown me that I should not call anyone impure or unclean." It seems this message is just as applicable today and our us versus them way of looking at so many things that divide us: culture, gender, politics, race, and religion. It seems we've missed one of the greatest points of the resurrection. Reading on, Peter says this, "I now realize how true it is that God does not show favoritism, but accepts from every nation the one who fears Him and does what is right. You know the message God sent to the people of Israel, announcing the good news of peace through Jesus Christ, who is Lord of all." The resurrection was for all. Jesus is Lord of all. His birth, life, death, resurrection, and ascension is for everyone. Because of this, believers all around the world in many different languages share in the same greeting. He is risen. He is risen indeed. I'm Greg Williams, speaking of life.
Thanks for watching this episode of Speaking of Life. We hope you enjoyed it.
We'd love to connect with you. Here are a couple of ways. Subscribe to our newsletter, GCI Update, and like us on Facebook.
And if you'd like more resources from GCI, check out our website.
Thanks again for watching. See you next week.